Hey, Clan. Right now, Castle Massey is holding their biannual Bath and Body sale, where all soaps and lotions are more than marked down, up to 33% off. And just for the Outlander Cast fans, you get to use the code OutlanderCast, just one word, no spaces, OutlanderCast at checkout, and you're going to get an additional 30% off.
So the next morning, Jimmy wakes up to find Dougal standing over him. They had a very pleasant conversation. Dougal says that he would hate to think that his nephew could take advantage of his daughter's feelings.
That doesn't sound so bad.
Aye, but the whole time that Dougal was talking, he had one hand on his dirk and the other one resting on Jamie's bollocks.
Didn't look at the lass again until I was 16.
Great. Want to hear more of these stories?
Plenty more where that came from, lad.
I think that's enough stories for one night.
It's good to have family around the table again.
Aye.
All the way from Providence, Rhode Island, welcome to Outlander Cast. It's a podcast dedicated to the show Outlander on Stars. Sing me a song of the last that is gone, sacred and last beyond. Mary is soul, she sailed on a day over the sea to Does anyone else just find those harmonies so yummy and you want to sing along, and then different times, maybe your third, fourth rewatch, you decide I'm going to sing a different part this time? That's me. Any other music nerds out there? I'm high-fiving you over the interwebs. In case I don't know you, how's it going? My name is Mary Larson.
My name's Blake, and remind me, I will never pee in public. Never pee in public, even if it means that I have to meet my daughter for the first time ever. I just won't do it.
You know, that's a way to start a conversation right there. That is a way. Truly, truly. Well, what an episode. What an episode. The amount of people that have come out and said that this week's episode of Outlander is not only their favorite for season 4, but quite possibly their favorite out of all of Outlander is quite astonishing.
I totally agree.
Right?
Totally agree.
I mean, you put it against some serious ringers right up there. I mean, season 1, there were some really special moments in season 1, but this episode, it felt like season 1. It felt like coming home. It felt like hashtag all the feels all over again. And I, for one, can't stop watching this episode. I'm crying for all the reasons. And if you've watched this episode, hopefully you have. If you haven't yet, you need to not listen to this podcast, and you need to hurry up and watch it. But my goodness gracious, what an episode.
As we're talking about this, I do want to break the fourth wall here a little bit. We are actually recording this live. This podcast is happening live on our page and in the Outlander Cast Clan gathering. We're doing it live for everybody here on Facebook because we've been late with these podcasts, and I kind of feel bad about that.
Agreed. I mean, truth be told, it's the holiday season. It's the holiday season.
Right.
But, we've been busy. We've had the kids everywhere, sickness, all the kind of things.
Right.
So it's just taken us a little while to get to this podcast episode. But as an extra special treat, and because we have our babysitter tonight, we can do this.
So we thought it was a fun little treat for you guys who are watching on Facebook. But do know that if you are listening to this on the podcast itself, whether you're at the gym doing push-ups or you're driving or I don't know, maybe you're maybe baking cookies. I don't know, whatever you're doing.
If you are on Facebook Live, we want to know, where do you typically listen to the podcast?
That's a good idea.
Let us know where you typically listen.
Do know that this podcast is intended for you, the podcast listener, the people that are watching us on Facebook right now. Thank you for being here. But this is just a quick look into the studio and how things are done between Mary and I. And, maybe a little even bit of a preview for the live podcast that we will be doing in front of a studio audience for the finale, which I'm very excited about.
And if you haven't yet bought your ticket, you can head on over to OutlanderCastFinaleParty.com. There you can scoop up your finale ticket. It's going to be Sunday, January 27th in Newport, Rhode Island. Get to go and be all historical and have fun in a gorgeous venue called the Colony House. How perfect is that?
I
mean, here we are in the colonial era with our beloved Outlander show, and you get to come and be in the colonial era in the smallest state in the union with Blake and I and a bunch of our friends. Well, just in case you are brand new and you don't yet listen to this podcast and you're like, who are these people with these accents and it's talking about my favorite show, we would love for you to find and subscribe to Outlander Cast in your podcast app of choice. Just search the word Outlander. You'll find us. Outlander Cast will pop up. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Just search the title Outlander Cast. We're there as well. We would love for you to become an official member of the Outlander Cast clan. Really easy to do that. All you need to do is go to the website, outlandercastclan.com. There you're going to get tons of benefits. You're going to get our special After Dark podcast episodes. Am I doing that right?
You did it absolutely right.
After Dark.
You're getting better at it.
I am. I'm working on it. There's giveaways. There's swag. There's all these bonus things for people who are part of the official Outlander Cast clan. Love all of you clan members out there. Thank you so much for making all this possible.
And remember that if you want to get those tickets for the Outlander Cast finale party that we were just talking about, please do go to outlandercastfinaleparty.com. And we will have the tickets there. They are available for everyone to see. Everybody to buy. And they are going quick, by the way. They are going quick. So I cannot guarantee you that you will get a ticket because we're still keeping it a small, relatively small, intimate environment. But please do go to outlandercastfinaleparty.com and check to see if there is still some tickets available. I'm sure that there will be, but I need to put that out there just in case. Marvin, are you ready to get into this episode?
Yes, I am.
This freaking phenomenal episode of Outlander.
Truly.
All right,
Truly.
Let's do it.
Okay, break it on down for me, Blake. What are the details for this particular episode?
This one was called The Birds and the Bees for multiple reasons. One, because Claire does have the birds and the bees talk with Brianna, which I found incredible that the first thing Brianna says was, "Ma, I wasn't planning on packing condoms." What a great line. That was a fantastic line. But also the imagery here for this episode with the bees and creation of life and the birds, creation of life, all tying into the fact that Brianna is, in fact, pregnant. And having this birds and bees feeling within herself that she's going to be a mom real soon.
Yeah. Yep. She already is.
It's going to be a big deal.
That's happening.
You know, she was free as a bald eagle, and now she has to, and she has to take care of a child.
Yep.
You know, and eventually, and it's good imagery.
So who wrote this episode?
This was a tandem experience between Tony Graffia and Matt B. Roberts, who are the de facto day-to-day showrunners of Outlander.
Yes.
Since Ron Moore has taken a step back, these two have kind of taken charge of the writer's room and pretty much what happens on set on an everyday basis. I think Ron's only involvement now, I mean, I'm sure he is involved in making decisions, but his real involvement is in the editing room, and that doesn't mean that Tony and Matt don't have say in the editing room either, but these are the guys that are basically in charge. Now, it's important to note that both of these guys wrote this episode because they are, again, a tandem. And as a pair, as a tandem, they have written 3 episodes so far.
Which 3?
They have written Dragonfly and Amber, which was the season 2 finale. Eye of the Storm, which was the season 3 finale, and America the Beautiful, the season 4 premiere. So this is another step in the right direction for them. And I will say that I've liked all of their episodes that they've written together. And in fact, I've liked them quite a bit. I mean, Eye of the Storm I feel like was a little bit of a letdown for me, but Dragonfly and Amber is one of my favorite episodes of Outlander yet, as was America the Beautiful, by the way. So I like them as a pair. Of course, they have written other episodes outside of this pairing. You know, they've written, I think Matt Roberts has written 11 episodes of Outlander, and Tony Graffia has written, you know, upwards of 10 or 11 episodes herself too. So there's a difference there. The director was David Moore, who has directed for Outlander before. He directed The Doldrums in season 3, and also Heaven and Earth in season 3 as well. And the DP, as we always like to call out, was Alistair Walker. that's
Love.
it.
Love.
Those are the
you
deets.
love Alistair Walker.
I do like Alistair Walker. He's not as good as my as close friend of the show, Steve. Not, I again, I had to call Steve and say, hey, listen, I know you're not on the show lately, and it upsets me, but I still got to do my job, bro.
Yes.
I still got to.
Yes.
And he was okay with it. He was fine.
Okay, so it's kilt rating time. For those of you who are new, we rate each episode on a scale of 1 to 5 kilts, 1 being meh, 5 being this was fantastic. Right. Blake, what was your kilt rating?
Oh, no.
I'm mixing it up. I mixed it up.
Oh, my
Too late.
goodness gracious. All right. My kilt rating,
Yep.
4.9. 4.9.
Which means 5.
4.9, and I'm going to have to do this. It makes me want to shout.
You're not allowed to sing.
I'm not, commandment number 3. Sorry.
Just
not allowed
lip
to sing.
Just lip sync.
And, just for the sake of posterity, a horse.
Yes!
We have
Yes!
got the second horse
Giddy
of
up.
this season.
Giddy
I'm
up.
very excited about it.
Good.
Very, very excited.
I obviously gave this episode a 5, which is funny because sometimes I throw in rules like, to have a 5, there needs to be hanky-panky or rumpy-pumpy or whatever you want to call it,
So is it a prerequisite for a 5 to have
No.
Rumpy Pumpy?
No,
No, okay.
it isn't.
You've moved beyond that. You've
I've
evolved.
I've grown up.
You're not a 13-year-old child.
It would have been weird in this episode. There was so much love
Yeah.
in other ways
Yeah.
that I didn't need it in this episode. Yep, big old 5. Big old 5 all over the place. Okay, time for the GBGs.
What do you got?
The goods, the bads, the greats of this episode. So my good of this episode was just Katrina and Sam's acting. Like, I can't even handle both of their reactions to seeing Bree were so perfect, and Claire's reaction when Bree talks about her rape. My goodness gracious, you felt it with her. Like I was blown away. I mean, Sam and Katrina have come so far since season 1,
Sure.
and they were phenomenal then. They made me believe them as the characters then, but to see them here now and to know that these actors aren't really this age that they're portraying. Don't really have a child, period, but don't have a child of this age. The way that they were still able to carry themselves and to make them be such believable parents to Bree, that's my good. My bad, excuse me, Jamie. Please, please, just wipe your hand, get a little Purell, or maybe like do a French kiss. Good to see you, Bree. And I know
Wait,
that
not
this
a
is
French
silly.
kiss.
Hey, no, not a French kiss. What are
The
those
double
called?
kiss,
The
a
double
European kiss.
Yeah, the mwah mwah.
Yeah.
not a French kiss. Right,
That
would be
was-
so bad.
that
That
was
would be a bad. I just can't handle. And I'm gonna ruin this for everybody. I ruined some things, just like you can't unsee Sam's Adam's apple.
Yes.
In Culloden. Never gonna forget that, guys. Never gonna forget. But nor are you gonna forget the. the grunts. The grunts
The
from the
grunts.
Tubby time.
Oh, yes.
Now you won't be able to unsee that when Jamie caresses Bree's face, you'll remember that prior to that,
He was peeing.
he was peeing. And men
taking a leak, if
They
you will.
hold their member with their hand, and then he had to like button it all up. And
You got to shake a little
I don't
bit.
even know, but that's so gross. And I just, I think Oprah said like 80% of the world doesn't wash their hands after they go to the bathroom. Jamie Fraser, king of men, is one of that 80%.
He is in the top of the 80%.
Pee hands. And my great, which is kind of weird. This is like a weird great, but hopefully my spirit animal soul friends out there will get me. Can I please spend a week on the ridge? Like, Blake, can you for Mother's Day just find the magical ridge and send me to it? Possibly pay the extra amount so I can have the family dinner with Murtaugh and Ian and Bree and Jamie and Claire, because that would be amazing. But if not, I will churn that butter. I will dig for herbs. I will feed Clarence. I will do it all as long as I can wear the knitwear, all of the knitwear, but I would like to spend a week, possibly a month, on the ridge.
Oh my God, the knit porn in this episode.
The knit porn, the goat porn,
the
herb porn,
the 1700s porn.
the amount of herbs just drying above the mantle as Claire's like, Jamie, I have to talk to you about something. And I knew what was
They're
going
all
on.
like dangling in the
And
wind.
Jamie like takes off his glasses, and we all know how I feel about those glasses. There were so many herbs up there, and I wished that Outlander was scratch and sniff. Oh my God, I love the Ridge so much. This is why I love Drums of Autumn. I'm like the Little House on the Prairie kind of girl.
Yes.
This episode, with all the things that went on with character development, they were amazing, but my great was the Ridge.
You're such a
I loved all the
dork.
book lines. I loved all the people, but all I just kept thinking was, can I please sit here? Can I have dinner with you guys?
Yes.
Hi, my name's Mary.
What I want to know is, where do they get the knit porn? I mean, not for the show, but like within the context
That's
of
what
the show.
Ian's doing. He's gone all the time because Claire can't knit. All right, Claire sucks at knitting. She didn't make that. It's been Ian. That's where he's been.
Well,
He's
where
been in
did-
the shelter knitting.
Where did Bree get her knit porn? Like that was that was beautiful.
That was from Lollipop. Oh, you're right, but that was wool. Not wool. Look, it was yarn.
I don't know what it was.
You know what? Bree looked like she was loaded when she spoke to Bonnet, and she was like, "How much do you want for it?" I feel like Bree, like we know that Ian gave Bree some serious dough.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when Bree was in Wilmington, she was like, "I am having
take
retail
this."
therapy. I just went through the most terrible experience of my life. I want this. I want this. I
Where's
want this, I want
where's
this."
the local Gap? Do you have a White Horse Black Market here? I'm just wondering.
Where's the Nordstrom?
I don't do Nordstrom Rack.
No.
Okay.
Listen,
Bree does not do Nordstrom
my
Rack.
uncle gave me loads of cash. I'm being emotional
She went
right
full
now.
Pretty Woman. I have all of this money. I have all. It's all
Big mistake.
It was
Huge.
You know, it was all crumpled up in a ball.
So what was your
Big
GBG
mistake.
now that I've just
Huge.
gone off the rails?
Okay, my good. There was this moment when Bree and Jamie are overlooking Fraser's Ridge, and Claire walks away, and you know they were talking about Daniel Boone or whatever, and Claire walks away, and you just see the two, father and daughter, staring out over the distance, and Jamie,
Looks like a painting.
Jamie looks briefly at Bree, and he kind of looks at her, and you could just see how proud and happy he is.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks away for another second, and then he steals another look at her, and there's just this fatherly smile, like I can't believe that she's here. I can't believe it. It's amazing. And as much as I know about Sam Heughan and the fact that he's very nearly my age, and he would apparently have a 21-year-old daughter.
I mean, we technically could have.
Yes, you're right. We could have.
We're that old.
Yeah, but I still feel like, it would be hard for me to believe otherwise. But seeing him interact with Bree and the way that he does, and they've already established that within this world, Jamie and Claire are like parents. They are the heads of this chosen family of theirs, right? So it's not too much of a leap for me to make that jump where I say, wow, I can really see Sam, or inherently Jamie, be a father figure to Bree and have that kind of feel. And that little smile right before they cut away from the ridge, it was a fantastic and beautiful moment, and where you can tell that the director and the actor are confident in what they're doing, and instead of and even the editor, just knowing that if I linger here for just another moment, if I just allow this to play itself out, we get this beautiful moment between the two. Fantastic. The bad, and like you, my darling, man, I know you got to pee. I know you probably had a couple of drinks. I know sometimes you got to get the poison out. I get it. But you go touching your daughter's face right after? Like, what are we doing?
And you know what's so sad is that, like, neither of our bads was seeing Roger beat to a bloody pulp, because that actually was the bad. Like, seeing his poor little face. Oh, smushed. Oh. But our takeaway, probably because we're married, every time we see it, we're like, yep, still dirty.
Yeah, still dirty.
Yep, that doesn't smell good.
Not great, Bob.
Not great, Bob.
Not
Nope.
great, Bob.
Not great, Bob. Okay, so what was your great?
But my great is what they've done to Jamie here a little bit, and where they've started this relationship between Bree and Jamie. And if you can't tell already, for me, the whole episode is what happens between Bree and Jamie. Like that is what makes the most impact for me. But starting Jamie off feeling insecure about himself.
King of men.
This is the king of men
Little
we're
does
talking
he know.
about. And whether or not you choose to believe that Jamie is, in fact, the king of men, he has that moniker for a reason. I always feel like he's always pretty much got a handle on everything, for the most part. He knows who he is, what he's good at, what he's doing. He always seems to have somewhat of a plan, and for the most part, it always works out. Again, he's the king of men. But to have him start off with Bree at a place where he says, I don't want to replace Frank. And even having the look of shock on his face and almost like, again, insecurity when Brianna says that Frank was her father as she's shooting. Where did you learn how to shoot? Oh, my father taught me.
Yeah.
Like there was this moment of like, oh, like how do I even do this, right? I mean, even Brianna admits that she's feeling disloyal to Frank just being around Jamie.
Yes.
Or even saying how he doesn't want Bree to leave, or even when Claire is about to tell him about Bree's encounter with Stephen Bonnet, his first thought is an insecure thought. Bree's leaving. Why is she leaving? I don't want her to leave. I'm going to miss her. Even having him go knock the absolute freaking pee,
Oh my gosh.
the piss right out of
Oh my
Roger.
goodness gracious.
I mean, he's doing it because he's insecure.
I never want to make Sam Hewen mad in my life.
No, like as soon as you saw that face as he's walking up and he sees Roger,
Nope.
it was like looked like the Terminator.
Nope.
Like I could see Sam Hewen being the Terminator.
Yes.
I could totally see it. The fact that is that we start here with those two, and we get to see a relationship between the two evolve. Makes it fantastic. I was very pleased with that. That was the best part of the episode for me.
I loved it.
I loved it. This episode was great. And I know some people here are saying, has Blake ever given a 4.9? I mean, has Blake ever given a 5? I think I've given it a 5 before.
This is basically our 5.
It's essentially a 5.
Like, literally, is the only reason you didn't give it a 5 because of pea hands?
No,
Because
why did I give it a 4.9 and not a 5?
exactly, that's what we want to know, Blake. This deserves a 5. This deserves a 5 by you. By your good, bad, great.
You know, okay. Here's what I'll say. I didn't give it a 5 because I didn't give the Frank episode a 5, and not because it was Frank, but because I don't think I can pick between the two.
Give them both 5s.
Because I liked them, but see now I'm take cornered. I can't retcon my take.
So basically, all of us know, we're in the circle of trust, that really this episode got a 5. But because your allegiance lies to Frank in some weird, twisted way, you can't admit it. You're kind of like Brie right now, being like, I totally went back in time and I love this episode, but I don't want Frank to know. Is that what's happening?
I feel disloyal to Frank.
Okay. So we all know that in your heart, this actually is a 5.
No, I mean, listen, it's as close as a 5 as I think we're going to get. I mean, the 5s for me have been reserved for like the Battle Joined, and like the Garrison Commander, like those kind of episodes where it was truly like a moment.
This was a moment. You know what you need?
What?
You need to watch it again.
Yeah, I think I probably need to watch it again.
Probably a 4th time.
But yeah, listen, if you want me to change it to 5, that means I have to retcon my
No,
previous take. Yes, I do. Because I like them both equally.
Okay, more 5. The more 5s, the better. Okay, so let's dive into this episode.
Yes, what do you got?
Okay. Let's just talk about the uncomfortable scenes to get them done with.
All right, let's
okay?
do it. I'm happy.
Bree, when she comes back to her room, and the interaction she has with Lizzie.
Oh, what a way to start this episode. I mean, showing a woman rock bottom and that reveal of the blood on her undergarments.
And her little shaking, and when Lizzie touches her back and she shudders.
Right. Oh, man. And, you know, I've seen some people say, oh, why was she being so crappy with Lizzie? Like, how can you
can you not?
And she's not trying to be. She's just shattered.
Yes.
There's nothing else more about it. She's shattered.
Sophie Skelton did unbelievable acting in this episode, but that scene in particular, she
brought it, man.
She brought it, and did such a beautiful job. The makeup department with the bruising on her, so good, and just the simple act of her cleaning herself.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, that's right. When she's like just cleaning.
Gosh,
and standing alone and like shivering in this water, and then just be like, Lizzie, just go to sleep.
Yes.
Just please, just go to sleep. It shows you the trauma that she's undergoing, how it is the immediate aftermath of what happened. Just seeing her enter that room alone. And here's, I think, the beautiful part of this episode, and I want to get your opinion on this, is last episode we had this moment where we experienced Bree's trauma. We could even make an argument that we didn't experience it. We got it through the lens of everybody else.
Correct.
But it was a personal thing that we saw the aftermath. We saw her walk up. She was alone. We were there with her. But in this episode, her trauma is seen through the lens of everybody else. And it shows you the kind of effect that trauma will have on everybody else, and how it makes people do things that they probably wouldn't necessarily do or feel, right? And that's when you know you've got some really good writing. Lizzie is saying that Roger is the one and
let's be real. People are hating on Lizzie, but honestly,
how can you hate on her?
She connected the dots.
Yeah.
She connected them very well.
I don't think you can hate on Lizzie.
No.
Is it kind of ridiculous that she just assumes? Yeah, but what else are you going to do?
Hey, Sherlock Holmes would have assumed the same thing.
Right.
We all saw what Lizzie saw, and that was not good. It was not good.
Right. And Jamie acts the way that he does, something that we have never really seen him act that kind of way. He goes and beats the snot out of Roger because he's vengeful and he's insecure, and he thinks, I'm going to take care of my daughter. I'm finally going to be able to take care of one of my children. One of the two children that I have not been able to ever see or take care of. Even Claire. Claire experiences Bree's trauma by seeing how Bree blames herself, saying, I should have fought harder. The emotions in this particular episode of Outlander are vastly more complex than what I think Outlander has achieved so far in its run. It is so complex. I think the only episode that would probably give it a run for its money would be To Ransom a Man's Soul, or Both Sides. Not Both Sides Now. Is it Both Sides Now? Yeah, it is Both Sides. The season 2 premiere of Outlander. That was Both Sides Now, I think.
The complexity
of it all, I think is invaluable to what's happening.
completely agree. This episode gave you #all the feels. You were crying for multiple reasons.
Oh, absolutely.
You were feeling elation. You were feeling joy. You were feeling hatred. You were feeling fear. You were feeling desolate. All these different feelings for these beloved characters, all within an hour. That is the magic of Outlander, that they have been able to bring us on this journey where we will able to experience #all the feels in 1 hour and have it be one of our favorite episodes of Outlander of all times. Gosh.
And as important as this trauma is and how it affects everybody, and it's something that needs to be discussed and talked about, you also had this great balance with some funny lines, and what we played at the beginning of our podcast episode here, which was we need to be here, we need to tell these stories. It's great to have family at the table.
You got that. You had the down. Then you had even the laughing times, the family at the table. But you had the father and daughter find each other, and then mother and daughter find each other, and then godfather and daughter find each other, and cousin, but really the parents seeing Bree.
Mm-hmm.
You had that moment that we as book readers have been waiting for so incredibly long. I'm just going to tell you, at least from my perspective as a book reader, this episode made me so happy. It made me so happy. So much about it was by the book. Lines are by the book. The way that they handled things were by the book. And even though a couple changes were made, Murta, I'm down with the changes. I'm down with the changes. They really did such a beautiful job to keeping to the integrity of this part of the story, which is so important. So important.
Well, let's dig into the rest of that right after the break, shall we?
Okay, you guys know, this episode, of course, is sponsored by Castle Massey. We have talked about them all season. We adore them. Of course, they were founded in Newport, Rhode Island, which is one of the reasons that we love them. But one of the lines that we love the most is their line of essential oils. They offer 4 different essential oil blends, 2 florals and 2 earthy tones, one of each for aromatherapy and one of each specifically for moisturizing hair and skin, which y'all know
When it's
need.
winter, all the dry heat.
Winter is coming. Winter's here. Winter's here, guys. And not only do they work really well, but they smell super rich, full of flavor, and all of Castle Massey's essential oil blends are expertly extracted and blended by their New York City-based essential oil expert. That's a hard title. Michelle Gagnon.
Essential oil
expert. To try their expertly crafted essential oil blends, and for 30% off your entire order, you can use the coupon code OutlanderCast at checkout. So, what if you don't want essential oils?
That's okay.
Maybe you've got a ton of them, okay? Maybe you're an oily person.
Like you got more essential oils than I could ever imagine.
Oh my God, it makes Blake cough and sneeze. On my
Can't
bad
even
days,
breathe.
guys, I just rub all sorts of oils all over me. I don't even know what's happening. But you know what? If you don't want essential oils, that's fine, because Castle Massey is holding their biannual bath and body sale. All of their soaps, all of their lotions, they're all marked down up to 33% off. And of course, we mentioned it before. You will then get an additional 30% off if you use the coupon code OutlanderCast at checkout. I'm just saying that you as a listener have the potential to save 63%.
63 fracking percent. It's incredible. It's an incredible deal.
Okay.
So I wanted to talk about the goodness of this episode, because there is so much complexity and it all relates back to Bree's trauma. But the goodness of it all is the look and the touch and the feel of cotton.
I was singing that in my head.
But again, I keep going back to Bree and Jamie. It's just,
that's what you need to be going back to.
it's such a special moment, and
so special.
And I think the reunion between Claire and Bree is a little overshadowed by what happens between Jamie and
Yes.
Brianna.
Yes,
But I think it's deservedly so. And remember how we were talking about in one of the previous episodes where you're not invested in Willie as much as you are Brianna.
Yes.
So seeing them spend all the same time together was kind of like, okay, what the hell are we doing? But seeing Bree and Jamie go after
Oh my
freaking
gosh.
bees and get just sit down and hunt and
Needs my darling.
it-
Oh
my God.
Should I please have her bear hat?
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, outstanding.
Bee hunting with Jamie, just to do a little bonding, and one of the aspects that I love about Bree, which has often gotten her in trouble, is how confident she is.
Right.
And I just love how it's like, yeah, of course I'll go bee hunting with you and ask you questions, and she is having these feelings and doubting, how she feels about things because of Frank. But really, she's just this confident woman where it's like, here we go. Like, yep, I've traveled through time. I'm going to go bee hunting with my dad. I'm going to ask him all sorts of questions and learn about him and have him learn about me. You see so much Fraser in her.
Right.
When oh my gosh, when they're seeing each other in the alleyway.
Oh. And I love what she asks him, or she says, "You're Jamie Fraser." Like it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Can't you tell? Oh my gosh. Like, he knows her. He knows her face. He
And
sees himself. He sees his mother in her.
And that's the beautiful part about what is happening here, because at first he doesn't recognize her. He's like, yeah, listen, I'm married.
He's like, I don't want your pies either. I don't.
I already get enough pies over
There's
here
a
with
pie
pie
lady.
with the pie hussy.
What's up with these pie hussies?
How many hussies am I going to run into in this town? But yes, he doesn't recognize her, but subconsciously he does recognize her. Yes, he has actually seen photos of Brianna as an adult. He has them. He knows that they're there.
But her hair was totally straightened.
But here's the other problem.
Kidding.
And not a problem.
Kidding.
It's actually, again, emotional complexity. He still sees Bree as a baby.
Oh.
He doesn't think of her as an adult.
Oh my god.
Even though he's seen the pictures,
he thinks of her as a bairn.
he thinks of her as like, oh my God, you're my kid, and you're my kid that I had to let go of. I had to give you away. I had to let myself down, and I had to let your mother down, and I've let you down. And all of these emotions are coming flooding on Sam Heughan's face as he recognizes Brianna. Mm-hmm. It was the thing of beauty.
All of the parents in this season, you know, whether it's Mueller's daughter and grandchild or Marcelly with your boy Jermaine.
Yes.
You know,
Jermaine,
to
that
see
freaking kid.
the protection that they have, like this common theme of parents wanting to protect their children,
right,
and wanting to always seeing them as these babies. I mean, even our kids, 3 and 5, we still see them as babies. And I know that when they're 10, 15, 20, when they're 55, God willing, I'm still alive, I'm still going to see them as my baby,
right,
no matter what. And that's what makes everything so poignant, is that Bree isn't a baby. What happened to her, goodness gracious, was a terrible thing that you wouldn't want to happen to your children at any age. And for Jamie and Claire to just finally have their baby back and to have this trauma happen to their baby. You see the rage that Jamie has and how he wants to protect his daughter. You see the complete and utter hatred that Claire has when Bree tells her, but then when she finds out, then when it's Bonnet.
Oh man!
When Claire found that ring.
And here's a beautiful thing about this whole interaction too, because as much as we talked about Claire being kind of overshadowed by Jamie and their meeting for the first time, Claire does have her moment.
Yes.
Claire does have her moment with Brianna when it comes to this, and Bree finally being able to tell her mother, I was raped.
The fact that her mom already knew that she was pregnant.
Oh, yeah. Like, just she sussed that out. There was some weird Claire stuff going on there, right? Weird Claire stuff.
She was giving her the herbs for the mother. Let me go to my stockpile that Mary has been admiring.
Let me go to my 40,000 bushes hanging from the ceiling.
It smells so good. Scratch and sniff that.
There was, and it's again another emotionally complex moment when Brianna, you could see her desperately wanting to tell her mother that she was raped, and you could see her desperately wanting to give the ring to her mother, but holds back because she too is still suffering, and you could see her like churning that butter, you know, and she's just staring off into space. You know,
I mean, truth be told, if you're churning butter,
yeah. I mean, I'm sure I'd rather watch paint dry. I would literally rather watch.
Have you
ants
ever had to
eat
make
grass. No, God no. Come on.
Are you serious?
I go to the supermarket.
What
for
did
that.
they do for field trips for you kids in Massachusetts? Because in Rhode
No,
Island,
we had to go
to farms, and they were like, "Here's how you make butter," and we had to pass a mason jar around on the floor over and over and over until the dang milk turned into butter.
No, we had to go to Sturbridge Village.
Okay, did you make butter there?
I seen people make butter there, but I didn't do
You
it
probably
myself.
were out like kicking goats or something.
Kicking goats.
I don't know. I just picture you being like, "I'm not churning butter."
I ain't churning no butter. Get out of here. Go to Star Market for that. I want the unsalted, please. But she has this moment of just like disassociating herself from everybody, and Claire can see that. She can pick up on it, and Brianna doesn't want to tell the truth because she doesn't want to put her dad at risk. She doesn't want to put Claire at risk. She just can't admit to herself that what happened because she needed to get a ring, and she couldn't admit it to her mother. And it all comes pouring out, like that moment when she finally gives her mother a hug after she finds out that she's pregnant.
Oh my
And,
gosh,
like,
that hug.
This momentary sigh of like, oh,
That's
yes.
the best hug.
Oh man,
As an
I know
adult,
you've been there.
Oh,
I know you've
yeah.
been there.
Oh yeah. As an adult, like you don't often hug your mom, especially that way, where you're like, "Oh my God, my life is terrible right now." But when you do, and when you've got that hug,
So I want to get it out of the way. I want to talk
Okay.
about Bonnet.
oh, he's so gross.
He's gross, and
He's
I
so
love it.
good.
I love
My
it.
goodness, watching him talk to Roger,
Oh,
I was like, Jimmy. Jimmy from Downton Abbey, you knock it off.
why don't you go fold some laundry?
Jimmy.
go polish some silver
Some shoes.
spoons.
Come on, Jimmy. You're not playing nice, Jimmy. We all know who you are. Oh, gosh darn it. He will never be Jimmy. And when I go and I do my Downton Abbey rewatches, he is going to be Bonnet. He has me convinced so much. Goodness, the little... You know what he does so well? You can tell. You can tell that he's a Tobias Menzies fan.
Oh yes.
Ed Spaliers, he totally was like, wait a second, I'm going to be on a show that Tobias is on because I love Tobias's lip acting.
Right.
Like literally Ed Spaliers does all sorts of things. He must work out like Jim Carrey, just looking in a mirror, working out his lip because those little moments, those little ticks with his face make you know something's not screwed in too tight in that brain.
And he has these moments where he it's just his like you said in his face, but it's also his movements. It's such. Remember how I talked about confidence behind the camera with David Moore and allowing that look to play out? You can see that he has confidence, as Spaliers does, in himself and in his ability to inhabit.
Yes.
Stephen Bonnet, the same way, like you said, Tobias has that confidence to inhabit Blackjack Randall. And they're different, right? They're
180.
They're different.
Yeah.
But they're...
Oh, no, I meant Spaliers' previous characters, but you mean BJR
Yeah,
and...
like they're different. It's
and Bonnet. No,
Blackjack...
they're completely different, but you're right. They're such confident villains.
Yes.
And
yes,
they're
that's
little...
what it is.
Everything about them... The thing with Bonnet is he's got these little, like... It's not, he doesn't care about anyone else's space. He doesn't care what anyone else thinks about his body. So he is able to confidently, jerkingly move every once in a while to make us feel uncomfortable. You know when people like pick at their skin on their hands?
Yep.
And it just makes you uncomfortable. It's like little weird ticks.
Yep.
The other actors in the show, the other characters, they're not trying to distract us. They're doing their thing. They're moving when they're supposed to move, and it's very carefully planned out, as is, Bonnet's. But his little things that he does with his face or his little movements are there to make us feel uncomfortable. And gosh darn it, Jimmy.
Yep.
You make me feel uncomfortable.
And Hannah Jo Hilliard here said a comment
On Facebook Live?
on Facebook Live that just caught my eye. Ed Spaliers is eating as he's talking to Roger as well. And he's just eating.
He's always eating.
He's just putting stuff in his mouth
I
and
hate
talking
those
about
two-pronged
it.
forks. They make me feel so uncomfortable.
They
I'm so nervous.
I feel like someone's going to stab somebody
Their
with
tongue.
it.
I'm afraid they're going to stab their tongue.
But I really appreciate Ed Spaliers as an actor. I am 100% happy to say that I was wrong. This guy has killed it. I mean, he is just he's thrown it out of the park as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
Roger getting the jewels. Did he get one jewel or did he get multiple?
It looked like
jewels?
he only got one.
I think he only got one.
He got like
too.
a little one, a wee one.
Do you think he's actually intending to go back? Like I know he comes back and he ends up on Fraser's Ridge, because Jamie beats the snot out of him.
Yes.
I get it, but do you think he's intending on going to get Bree to bring her back, or do you think he wanted to say goodbye?
I mean, I've read the book.
Oh, yeah, you have read the book. You're right.
What do you think?
Listen, they're going to have to redeem Roger here. They're going to have to.
They need to redeem Show Roger
That's what I'm saying.
a lot.
Yes.
Okay, Show Roger is not Book Roger. I'm just saying. Roger's pretty much my favorite character.
Are you not on the Roger train right now? Are you not on that train?
He's going to need a little help. And I don't just mean with his face.
Yeah.
His old attitude needs to be cleaned up a little bit.
Right. So, all right. Here's my thing.
Meaning the writing needs to be.
I think they're gonna have to. I think they're gonna have to save Roger here a little bit.
You know what they're gonna have to do?
What?
They're gonna have to Sawyer him.
They're
Lost.
absolutely gonna have to Sawyer.
Like
Sawyer
you
him.
hated Sawyer so much in Lost, and then all of a sudden you're like, when did I start loving this man?
We have to go back, Kate.
I'll tell you exactly when you started loving him.
Tell me.
When it's season 4 in the helicopter.
Yes.
And he gives himself up.
Yep.
Spoiler alert.
Yep. So what is Roger gonna have to do?
Or maybe you love Sawyer when you find out that he actually hates himself. He hates himself for being Sawyer, that he has to call himself Sawyer.
Let's wrap up this Lost. People
Sorry,
are getting
I know.
lost.
They're like, wait, whatever. I don't care.
But nonetheless, the show needs to save our love
they
for
need
Roger.
to Sawyer Roger.
Yes.
They absolutely need
And for
to
those of
Sawyer
you who've
Roger.
never watched Lost, we're really sorry.
But I think they're gonna have to do it here with Roger, and I think they're gonna have him give Bree the jewel or the whatever it is to have her go back and to say, listen, you don't belong here. You did what you're supposed to do. I will stay here so you can go back and be in your time and whatever. Again, kind of Sawyering him, like sacrificing himself for it. But we've got some complications here.
What?
We got some complications.
What?
The fact that he got the snot kicked out of him by
Yeah.
Jamie and he's going to end up
Not
somewhere.
good.
And I have an outlandish theory of the week on that.
Well,
by
let's
the
get
way.
to this.
Well, we actually have to get to the Outlander cast. Oh, by the way, one last thing, one
What?
last note I have here, and I
Yeah.
want to say, when Bonnet says limb or lass, Mackenzie, that was perfect. Perfect writing.
Yep.
I believed it. I truly believed it. Kudos to Matt Roberts. Kudos to Tony Graffi on this episode. Little things like that make this episode what it is. And I would say it's the best episode of this season so far.
Agreed.
It's the best episode.
I agree.
And a minuscule hair amount behind is the Frank episode. Only because we got that bad nature with Bonnet that I think Outlander needs. Outlander needs a villain like Bonnet. It needs it.
Wow.
Because he's the opposite of Jamie. He's the opposite of Claire. And when you have an embodiment of evil that is the exact opposite of your protagonists, that bring stuff out of your protagonists that would never normally happen, now you're talking.
You know
Right.
what? Okay, yeah. Let's keep going because I have some outlandish theory stuff.
All right, well, why don't we get to the Outlander cast staff thought of the week, shall
Yes,
we?
please.
This one comes by the way of Nikki, one of our most well-written
Yes.
staff members on the Outlander cast staff. So, Nikki, take it away.
Hey guys, it's Nikki Gastineau, and this is my thought of the week. I have so many thoughts about this episode. The writer's treatment of trauma is heartbreakingly beautiful and feels so spot on. Trauma isn't just an event that happens and then you move on. Trauma is a rock thrown into the middle of a pond. The shattering of the surface makes its way back to you in ripples that seem like they'll never end. Every look, touch, and sound triggers something about the event. I give major props to the writers and Sophie Skelton for showing us this bottomless pit of pain. Apologies for starting with the tough stuff, but I couldn't let the moment pass without acknowledging this. What I really want to focus on is the beautiful moments of family and the idea of home that we saw in this episode. Jamie being able to hold Brianna and speak to her in a way that he could never speak to Willie was everything. I felt like I was watching Jamie pour 20 years of love into Brianna. Each look, hug, and snippet of conversation felt like a moment he had only dreamed of having with her. As the family sat around the dinner table, it seemed like we were watching Brianna feel family for the first time. The banter among the gathered, the stories of days gone by, felt like my own recent family gatherings over the holiday. In these rooms, whether they be small or grand, lit by candles or chandeliers, this is where we find family, where we first find love. But this episode isn't just about Jamie meeting Bree. It's about Bree finally seeing a loving relationship. Sure, she had a mother and a father who loved her deeply, but it's a different thing to know that you're surrounded by people who genuinely love each other, who would fight to save each other, who share knowing looks and tender touches, who are bound by love and affection, not duty and forced promises. A few episodes ago, we saw Jamie take Willie to the stunning overlook at Fraser's Ridge. Jamie clearly delighted in the fact that Willie could appreciate the beauty of the place, but there could be nothing more intimate about that moment. When Jamie took Brianna to the same spot, she also remarked on its beauty. Jamie's look, his heart bursting with pride and love and joy, he seemed to say to Brianna, "You're home." Indeed, Brianna, this life, this gift born of love and an eternal connection is home, and her battered heart and body can rest easy for a while in the arms of those who were willing to give up everything that she might live. If that's not home, I don't know what is.
That's right. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you so much.
Nikki.
Well said. Absolutely well said. And another person here in the clan also made a comment that I find important, which is Larissa Nichols says, the Murtaugh says the line, "What took you so long, lass?" Mm. That, to me, and again, which is why I played what we played at the beginning of this episode, that is so invaluable. It was almost to Murtaugh like manifest destiny that she was to return. That face, that moment of looking at her like, wow, you are home. You're Brianna. Mm-hmm. Holy smokes.
Yep.
Like, what took you so long? Like, it's just this welcoming family and the everyday life. You know, the thing that you love about drums so much is the survival, just the everyday stuff that they're doing, like churning butter or feeding Clarence or doing whatever. You got a chance to see that again in this episode and just see a family in action.
Just loving on each other.
Oh, my.
Making pad whiskey.
Oh. That was, it was great seeing them all sit around the fire with the whiskey and the barley and all that.
Just living life.
Just chilling out, man. Mm-hmm. Just chilling out. Okay. It's time to get to the outlandish theory of the week. Shall we do that?
Yes, we shall.
Want to let you know that this outlandish theory of the week is brought to you by Zola. What the hell is Zola, right? Zola is actually a place where you can start a free wedding website, and you can actually get $50 off of your registry on Zola. And if you go to zola.com/outlandercast.
Okay.
All right. And I wish when we got married, I said this before, because we've talked about Zola before, I wish we had this when we got married.
I know.
Because it just would have made everything so much easier.
So why is it easier?
It's easier because it takes the stress out of your wedding planning. Everybody, we all know, we got wedding season coming up. All you people, all you mothers out there, your mothers-in-law, all you fathers, you're planning weddings real soon coming up in the spring.
It's crazy
and
town.
in summer. You got to get your planning done now, right? It takes the stress out of the wedding planning with the websites, the registries, the save the dates, invitations, all of it. It's all easy to use. It's all got planning tools. It's all right there, right in front of you. And it just starts with a free freaking wedding website. You know that thing where you have all the questions where you put like, the frequently asked questions. What do we wear?
Can kids come?
Yeah, what can I wear, a T-length dress or a full-length dress? All that stuff. Can I have a +1? It's all right there. You can get your registry all set up in one spot.
This is like your dream. For those of you who don't know, Blake was the bridezilla.
Oh my! I was absolutely bridezilla. Yeah. I watched more David Totera than I care to admit. David Totera and me were best friends. Fake. I don't want no fake flowers at my wedding. I'll tell you that.
You were such a bride.
And you know where you're going to find real flowers? Somebody who's going to help you out? Zola. They'll take care of you.
That's right. They're right.
And they'll help you do your registry. You can plan for your honeymoon. You can get gift cards at freaking Home Depot or Airbnb. And the best part of it all is that they also have a completion discount, which means 20% off of all the remaining gifts on your registry right after the day after your wedding.
So, like, if you didn't get that OXO scooping slotted spoon that you desperately wanted for when you make pierogies, like I do, don't worry. Dinner fash, because you can get it 20% off the day after your wedding. I love slotted spoons.
Everybody loves slotted spoons.
Right, seriously, they're so good, except when it's the only clean spoon and you're like,
and you got to eat soup. All right, so this outlandish theory, again, brought to you by Zola. Go to their zola.com/outlandercast, and they'll be able to hook you up. All right. I don't think it's a coincidence that it's Ian who takes Roger away. Because Jamie says, hey, take him out of my face. Don't kill him, but just get him out of my face.
Bye, Ian.
Bye.
Bye, Ian, and bye, Roger.
Hashtag the most hashtag bye Ian moment of the entire series. Ian, go take this half-dead Raja and get you both
him
out of my
somewhere.
life. Just get him out.
You've been in this episode too much, Ian. Can you just go busy yourself somewhere with this bloody man?
You fulfilled your hours at work today.
Bye,
Get out of
Ian.
here. Bye, Ian. Listen, I don't think it's a coincidence that it's Ian who takes Roger away. And my thought process on this follows this line. Ian has been gone forever now, and I imagine
He's been knitting.
Ian is going to take him to a place that he knows and knows very well. And since we know that Ian has been hanging out with John Quincy Myers and hanging out with the American Indians, the Cherokee, I feel like he's going to bring him to Indian territory.
Why?
I'll tell you why. Because he's going to do the Batman Begins thing. Okay. I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you.
Oh, okay.
So he's still listening to Jamie. You don't kill him, but you don't got to save him either. Just put him in the Indian territory. Let the American Indians deal with them.
Why would they want him? Are they going to do a bear dance?
Because he's on their territory. And what are they going to do to him?
Ooh, I don't know.
They're going to give him a dirty beating. And then and somehow Ian thinks, I've done my job. I'm pissed off at him for hurting my cousin. I've listened to Uncle Jamie, and I've done what I'm supposed to do. And he's going to put him in Indian territory. Here's the thing, though. I think the Cherokee are going to take Roger in, and because they're going to see him, they're going to see him all bloody to a
You
pulp.
poor little friend.
And they're going to be like, oh,
can you
my
play the
God.
guitar?
And they're going to bring him back to health, and they're going to bring him back to life. And Roger, thinking that he has no
They're
chance.
going to be so shocked by his hairy chest.
all the hairy nipple. Being so shocked and realizing I probably have no chance with Bree now. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to have my life among the Cherokee.
That sounds very nice.
And it's going to be like a Dances with Wolves kind of thing.
Oh, Tatanka.
All to Tatanka.
Do you know what that means?
Bull?
Buffalo. Blake. Buffalo. When is the last time you've
bull
watched
and a buffalo.
Dances with Wolves?
They both got horns. It's the same. They run around in the prairies and the wild.
I bet you don't even know which American Indian was in Dances with Wolves. You don't. We need to rewatch it. It's my favorite Kevin Costner movie, and that's saying something because I love so many of them.
Oh my God!
Continue.
All right. So I'm not saying that the Cherokee are going to kill him. I'm actually saying that they're going to take him in. They're going to bring him back to life, and Roger is going to
play the guitar,
sing,
be the hairy chest, bear man,
and dance with wolves.
Perfect.
That's what it's going to come down to.
Oh my God! I'm really loving it.
So what do you think? Interesting or interesting?
Interesting.
Chuck, what do you got?
Mock me.
Please hang up and try again.
Bonnie Prince Chuck always got my back.
Yes.
Always got my back. All right, listen, we're going to talk about the giveaways now.
Okay.
We got 2 new giveaways. The first one is from Caswell Massey. It's actually their newest creation from the Caswell Massey brand. It's actually called the Ultra Wild Holy Smoke Essential Oil Blend.
That sounds amazing.
So I know Mary's all about this life. I guarantee you we're going to have a set in our house within the next 3 days. I'm going to see a Caswell Massey box show up on our porch.
They're so beautiful, their boxes. If you guys haven't yet gotten Caswell Massey products, I'm telling you, just the packaging alone, beautiful.
Right. So this one will be found at OutlanderCastClanGiveaway.com. It is a retail value of $54. Again, the Ultra Wild Holy Smoke Essential Oil Blend can be found at the OutlanderCastClanGiveaway.com. The second one is a $90 value, and again, it's running along the lines with these essential oil and the deal that we're giving them, the Outlander Cast listeners. This one is the Deep Florals Essential Oil Set total, and again, it has a value of $90. It can be found at OutlanderCastClan.com.
Awesome.
So
there's so many websites going on right now.
OutlanderCast FinaleParty.com, OutlanderCastClanGiveaway.com, OutlanderCastClan.com, OutlanderCast.com. We got all the .coms.
Got them all.
All the Outlander.coms.
Got to catch them all. It's like Pokemon.
All right, my love, are you ready to close this perfectly smelling, essentially oiled episode?
I bet it helps Rollo smell even more handsome.
I
Yes.
wouldn't be surprised. You ready to close this bad boy out?
Yes.
All right, let's do it.
We want to take this moment to thank all of you for taking your time to listen to this podcast and for also heading over to OutlanderCast.com and checking out the amazing blog posts by our staff. We have a great blog post that is up just recently. It's our 2018 year in review. The best blog posts chosen by the Outlander Cast staff. Their favorite ones, the ones that really pulled at their heartstrings, and whether they wrote it or if it's from another staff member. So please head on over to OutlanderCast.com. Let's be real. It's a short work week. AKA, you're not really doing much work.
You're not doing anything. Let's be honest here.
So just take some time and head on over to the blog. We also have a wonderful series of posts by blogger Andre Poppleton, who actually was able to get
All
so
the
much footage
behind-the-scenes
behind the scenes. So if you wanted to see more about these particular episodes, that's another bunch of blog posts that I want to point you to. We want to really thank all of our patrons. We talk about our patrons all the time because you guys honestly make this show possible. You can be a member of the Outlander Cast clan for as little as $2 a month, but we really want to take the moment right now to thank our highest level patrons, our most generous patrons, our associate producers, Angie, Carolyn, Celine, Cheryl, Diane, Heather, Jennifer, Lauren, Linda, Marilyn, Mary, Michelle, Patricia.
Do it. Say it right. Say it right. Come on.
Siobhan.
That's my girl.
I got you. Then Summer. Okay. And then also our co-producers, Barbara, Carolyn, Christina, Dana, Dieta, Janet, Jenny, Keelan, Kirsty. Sorry. My contacts just got really sticky, guys. Lisa, Liz, Marianne, Meredith, Raynal, Rita, Sharon, Sue, Tara, and Tina. And last but not least, our executive producers, Ann, Bobby, Jen, Katie, Martha, Peg, and Sarah. Blake, tell people a little bit more about our finale party.
And if you want to get to the finale party, you can do so. It's being held right in Newport, Rhode Island. The tickets are going quickly, so do get to OutlanderCastFinaleParty.com to get your tickets there. It has all the information about the party right at that website, what we're doing, the timeline, where to stay, how to get there if you so choose, and pretty much nerding out with all of us other Outlander nerds.
That's what we do.
That's how we do.
That's how we do. That's how we do. So we want to also thank those of you who've taken the time to write a review in your podcast app of choice. And you might be like, why? What does this matter? People who don't know about Outlander Cast, they search the word Outlander, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook or their podcast app, and then they read these reviews and they're like, should I watch this? Should I listen to this? So if you take the time to write it, know that it means so much to Blake and I. It really brings the biggest smile to our face. So we want to thank Wendy R., who wrote, I was late to the gathering, but I'm all in now. This is my first season to watch live, and I cannot get enough of this podcast. I'm taking Blake's approach as a show watcher first, and then in the off season, I'm catching up with the books. I love Blake's enthusiasm and Mary's insight, all the while keeping it spoiler free. I've tried several podcasts about Outlander, and there is no comparison. Thank you, Mary and Blake. And you know what? One of the things why I really wanted to mention Wendy is that if you have friends who have not read the books, who are brand new into Outlander, please let them know about Outlander Cast, because this is a podcast for spoiler free.
Yeah,
Yes, I've read the
it's
books.
for show watchers, too.
I know that a lot of you read the books. We all geek out. I wink at the camera every once in a while. Y'all know. But this is a safe podcast to share with those friends who are new to Outlander, who want to delve a little deeper, feed the addiction, and then maybe they're going to dabble in the off season.
We're not
as
crack
well.
addicts.
Pretty much.
Actually, yeah, you're kind of right.
Obsessed
Obsessed next.
So everybody, thank you so much for taking the time to listen.
I'm actually really looking forward to all of the listener feedback now.
I know.
I cannot wait. I can't wait to have this conversation with you guys and record that. Look for it perhaps maybe on Saturday or Sunday, as we're recording this is Wednesday, where we are normally recording listener feedback on this day. So just bear with us. Hopefully next week we'll be back to normal. That's what I'm hoping for.
My name's Mary.
My name's Blake.
And you've been listening to Outlander Cast.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, guys, seriously, for hanging out with us here on Facebook Live. We're hoping that we can do more of these Facebook Live podcast episodes in the future. Maybe the listener probably not the listener feedback one. We'll see. It depends if our kids are gremlins or not.
And they're always gremlins, to be honest.
Truly. So thank you so much. This episode was dynamite. We would love for you to make the trip to Newport, Rhode Island to join us for the finale party. And if you can't, don't worry. We'll be making sure to have the live podcast available to all of you worldwide to make sure that you can be there in spirit.
Yes, and if you are a member at the OutlanderCastClan.com, you can join us right now as we close this off at OutlanderCastClan.com to check out our After Dark
I forgot
episode.
we have that.
We do have the After Dark episode. You know what? And just as a little treat,
Yeah?
just as a tiny little treat,
Okay.
I'm going to show you our background that we have for the After Dark podcast episode. And if I could find it, here it is.
There it is. Hey, artwork.
And it's supposed to go to view and slideshow, and that's what it looks like for the After Dark podcast. So, all right, join us when you can, and hopefully you'll be able to hear us chat.
Thank you so much. Take care, guys.
Bye.